Welcome to the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. I'm Rebecca Monet, CEO and Chief Scientist at Zoracle Profiles. I'm here with my co-host, friend, community advocate, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, Tracy Kawa. So, Miss Tracy, we have a very special guest today, Julie Cartwright. Julie spent the majority of her career in product development, helping some of the world's most recognizable fitness personalities like Tracy Anderson, Jillian Michaels, and Leslie Sansone develop America's favorite at-home workout videos. And at the top of her game, Julie left it all behind to take over what she's called one of the most impactful fitness brands on the market. So I'm going to let her tell all of that story. Julie, welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Julie, I'm curious to kind of take things a little further back, to find out about like where it all began, where your passions began. How would you describe yourself as a child?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would definitely describe myself as, just to be fair, I was slightly awkward. I really was. I was constantly going into groups of people and watching them, observing them, before I would sort of place myself in that situation. And so you would see me sort of on the sidelines a lot. I'm thankful that I was that way now, because I still carry that with me. But I found sort of more comfort in being me as I entered high school and college. But I was just constantly, and my parents described me that way too, just watching everybody else and taking it all in to see how I would interact if I was placed in that situation. So I don't know if that sort of explains it, but that's how I would describe it.
I find that fascinating, Julie, this observer side of you, maybe even a little quirky or awkward, let's say. Awkward's probably the better word. Would you say that observer part then could kind of read people? Meaning, would you consider yourself an empath as an example, or someone that can pick up signs and clues that maybe someone who's, more extroverted or more, part of the clique might not observe that you would be picking up?
100%. Yes. That's why I think throughout my life, I felt really comfortable making decisions and risky decisions at times because I have a real feeling about people. I'm incredibly empathetic. I was almost too much. If you start crying right now, Rebecca, like I will cry because I can feel your energy. And my team sees that all the time, but I think it's built. I can't believe today I'm going to tell you that I'm really confident in who I am, but I am because of all of those years of just really being able to read people, to be able to listen very carefully as to what people are actually saying. Then I feel really blessed to have that as like a superpower.
I love that. It's like the superpower of being able to read the room and understand what others in the room are feeling, what they need, what they want. How do you think that serves you in business today?
I would say that it has allowed me to, early stage, it allowed me to really pay attention to what I loved in my job right out of college. I worked for an entertainment company, and through the 18 years that I was there, 18 years, I kept getting promoted. And I was crazy in love with being the general manager of fitness. And that was a smaller area of our overall entertainment business. And I would not let it go. I was like, yep, I'll take that next position as long as I can hold on to this, because I was putting a lot of energy to how I felt about my day. And I didn't want to lose that. So I think that's like the start of, really paying attention and observing and observing why you wake up in the morning and you're so happy, and what are the things that are surrounding you that are contributing to that, or quite frankly, or pulling away from that. And I held on tight to fitness, thank God, because it was something I was incredibly passionate about. And then it obviously it led to this current opportunity with Pvolve, and just me, and we can talk a little bit about that, but me taking the biggest risk of my life, and that is leaving my 18-year career to come and join a young woman who had the most incredible business opportunity, or incredible business vision. And again, the second that I knew that that was right, I don't like really look back. I just know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just done. The decision is made. I think there's about 1,000 things going through my head as I'm observing your face, listening to your tone of voice, listening to the words that you are saying, is you're not only picking up on the thoughts, the emotions, the environment and what's going on with people, and processing this information very rapidly, but you're equally as in tune with yourself and noticing when you feel a certain way or thinking a certain way, what might be contributing to it, either internally or externally. And you're taking control of that, right? Now that I understand this isn't bringing me pleasure, or this isn't enhancing my passion, or this situation isn't contributing to my overall well-being, you're changing it. So you're sensitive to energies, you're sensitive to emotions and thoughts and others, which is making you an incredible decision maker. So does that, I don't even know how to describe it, empath, I guess, does that build the confidence, or does the confidence come after the decision is made?
That's actually a really good question. I would say, again, I do a lot of things. I have definitely weaknesses, but I would say the two things that I excel at is listening and decision making. I've got a lot of confidence that after I listen to a diverse perspective, from my team or my husband, if I'm making decisions at home, or other decisions that you're making, I've gathered the information and I feel really confident to make a decision. I don't waffle. I have so I don't know which one comes first. I think that it's just, I'm really grateful because I wasn't the most confident kid. I wasn't. I was constantly feeling like I didn't fit in, but I was observing others. I was listening, and it's served me so well in my young adulthood and my college years and my profession. And I think people really value that. They really trust me, that I've listened to their point of view, and I've got a really strong conviction on how we should move forward.
Interesting. So take us forward. So out of college, you get this wonderful job at, an amazing company. You get promoted throughout the years while still holding on to that one responsibility that you truly love. So what was so compelling about this young lady's story that got you to just step away from everything that you love, at least in your professional life?
Yeah. So Rachel Katzman, I think she was 23 at the time, very young. I was 40. And I think that's important because when you're looking across the desk at somebody, you definitely have differences, right? Like I'm much older than her. She had been trying to get in touch with me for about a year and a half. She had heard about me. The fitness industry is somewhat small. She had heard about me through a family friend, and our company was just getting purchased by Lionsgate. I feel like I had arrived, at this career, like moment that I was really proud of. And she would not take no for an answer. And she flew in. I flew home on a red eye because I was going to LA every single week from Chicago. I flew in on a red eye, really just trying to be nice, because she would not quit. And she sat across from me, and talk about feeling somebody's energy. She sat across from me, and really the heart of the story is that she was going from boutique fitness to boutique fitness, trying to get the body that she really was looking for: lifted butt, really strong core, defined arms. And all of us women can relate to that. Like, you know what, you want to look good and you want to work hard to look good. But little did she realize that she was in pain, like excruciating pain, but she felt like that was what she had to give in order to get the body. She was diagnosed with scoliosis. And I'm sitting across from her, and I'm 40. My husband had just had shoulder surgery on really just the fitness that he chose for the prior, 2 decades. And it was like really high impact. And it wore and tore his body. And it was at the end of, and I've got mad respect for other boutique fitness. This isn't a negative, but this was at the end of sort of like a CrossFit era where there was a lot of injuries coming out of that. And I just watched this young, vibrant, really well-spoken woman across from me. And I'm like, this woman's going to do something big. And I came home that day. Of course, I couldn't say no. I'm like, well, I've got a job, so I definitely can't do this, but I'll do it on the nights and weekends. And I will do everything to help you, because I believe the world needs what it is that you are building. And it was functional movement and resistance-based equipment. Like, that was the combination of this unlock. And so January 2017, I set out for an entire year of doing this on the nights and the weekends. And it was completely insane. And I am somebody who wakes up with a lot of appreciation. What are the things that make me happy? And it was like time and time again, it was just building this thing with Rachel Katzman. And so throughout that year, lots of stuff happened, but here I am today.
A pre-interview conversation we had with you, Julie, the picture I got with you and Rachel is that you really are the wind, right? You bring life to something. You saw within her something, even with youth, as a possible obstacle, right? You saw something and knew that Rachel was going to do something big, and you gave her the wind to take it to that next level. You believed in Pvolve. So just tell us a little bit more about Pvolve. You talked about its resistance and its to avoid injury. Talk a little bit more about what you guys do.
Yeah, I'm so proud of what we've built, honestly, over the past 7 years. Like, so proud. So at the heart of it, it is a clinically backed, like, new method to market. So a new modality, and it's functional movement. So mimicking your everyday movements in 3 planes of motion. You reach, you stretch, you're constantly moving in 3 planes of motion. And that functional movement coupled with resistance-based equipment, and we've got 3 patented pieces of equipment, resistance-based equipment. So coupled with that, we're going to get you one of the most gorgeous bodies, lifted butt, tone thighs, all of the things that you would come to expect, but so much more. And so that's mobility, strength, flexibility, pain relief. And we've proven out some of that through our clinical studies that we've been in since 2019. We've been in 3 clinical studies. So, and the way that we serve it, Rebecca, is that we have a really a big D2C business where we sell the equipment and the subscription, usually together, to a global audience. And then we also have 3 owned and operated studios to sort of prove out that model. And we franchise. So we've awarded 52 locations, and we just opened our 14th franchise location just last week, which is crazy. And so it's a completely omni-channel hybrid. So if you are a studio member, you can work out also at home with the 1,400 workouts that are on our on-demand. And we believe that that removes barriers from, daily movement, which is so critically important to your health span.
That is all so exciting.
It
That's-
is.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your role in the company, because again, from the pre-conversation, you also do a lot with the brand itself, marketing the company, but that's not all you do. You seem to wear a lot of hats.
Yes. Well, back in 2017, when we were just getting things started, I was plunging toilets too. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you just do whatever it takes, I think, for a early stage startup. So everything from starting the website on Shopify to helping, get the product into market, to PR, all sorts of stuff. I would consider myself like an operator. I'm not afraid of really, really hard work and trying to solve a problem. But so like it's my role has taken on a lot, since then. I would say now, I'm a huge part of the franchise development. I think that there is an inherent trust that these franchise owners develop in, the president of the company, the person that's like running the business. So I'm very, very actively involved in not only franchise owners that are open, but also future franchise owners. But I operate, the supply chain reports into me, legal reports into me, product reports into me. I mean, so it's the various operations of the entire business. And I'm really proud of what we've built because of that.
I would be too. It's amazing. Okay, I'm curious. You've worked with these celebrities, Tracy Andersons, Jillian Michaels, etc. But you guys also have in the past, but now with Pvolve, you are partnering with none other than Jennifer Aniston. How did that come about? How did she fall in love with Pvolve? That was I mean, you landed a big fish there, girl.
We sure did. And I swear, like I talk about this even in our pre-conversation. I love what we've built. It's been a lot of hard work, but sometimes you're touched with a little bit of luck. You really are. And I'm grateful for that too. She Jen was like streaming. She watched somebody that was close in her life really have a complete transformation. And she was like, "What are you doing? I need to know exactly what you're doing." This woman had lost weight. She looked great, but she also had so much more energy. And so Jen is just like, "What are you doing?" She said, "You've got to get Pvolve. Pvolve is the most amazing thing. It's changed my life." Luckily, Jen also is a listener, and she ordered all of our equipment that day and outfitted, little to our knowledge, she outfitted her at-home studio and started, secret streaming basically for a year. She reaches out to us and she asked if we could do some training, but we were keeping that very quiet. And we were like, there's no way that this is really Jennifer Aniston. We sent trainers over there. It really was. And then her team in August of 2022, I was on a golf course at night. The founder was in her home, and we get a DM that just basically said, "I'm Jen's team, Jennifer Aniston's team. Do you want to have a meeting on Monday?" And we're like, we're definitely getting punked. Like, we are getting punked, like somebody is playing a cruel joke on us. And, she is never proactively asked to join a company. And we were, they asked me, they're just like, "Would you consider Jennifer Aniston to join the company?" And of course, I'm trying to be cool. I'm like, I mean, yes, of course. And so then we publicly announced that, really authentic partnership in June of 2023. And the business has been through the roof ever since. It really has, because it takes a lot to educate people on a new way to move their body. It really does. And she herself, what she said is, she's just like, "Where have you guys been? Why don't people know more about you? And I'm going to use my platform to help." And that's exactly what she's doing. She works out with us 3 times a week. She's never looked better.
She looks incredible.
She looks
Looks
incredible.
incredible. That woman doesn't age, and her body is just subtle, meaning she's just strong and elegant and everything about her. And you're right. I mean, she looks better today than even 10, 20 years ago.
She does.
It's
She
amazing.
does look better today. And she really believes in this method. She really believes in the idea that you shouldn't sit on the sidelines, that all of us have sensitivities in our bodies, especially as we age. And that by moving your body the right way, you can achieve the looks, but like more importantly, you can avoid injury. You can feel better in the morning. You can have more flexibility. And she's just such a believer.
Did you say earlier that there were like 1,200 different routines to follow? Because I
Yeah,
think there's something to that about keeping the mind sharp, right?
yes, definitely. There's 1,400 different workouts on our digital platform. And I think one of the things I would have called us incredibly progressive back in 2019, 2020, when we were talking about women's health and pelvic floor health, and not just about how you recover after having a baby, but truly like your pelvic floor and what your pelvic floor goes through, during pregnancy and how it can impact your overall bodily like function. And so we were doing that. We were doing infertility and fertility, like movement workouts, workouts around the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. So we were taking a women's first lens to how we were developing this method. And I think it's really important because it's not one size fits all when it comes to women, that what works for a man doesn't necessarily work for a woman, but it can vice versa. What can work for a woman can work for a man because we've got these things called hormones. So we were incredibly progressive about that. And, I'm so thankful now because the market is at this inflection point where it's like caught up. You hear people talking about menopause, and what you need during menopause is different than perhaps what you needed in your 20s. And our clinical studies speak to that exact thing. So yeah, there's a lot of variety, Tracy, on our on-demand platform. And then, we obviously bring that into the in-studio experience too, whether it's through clinics or special programming or, just the various ways that we interact with our member base.
Unbelievable. Each phase of life is unique, and our needs are definitely unique. Actually watched a couple of your videos or some of the franchisees' videos. And one of the things that stuck out to me, especially with your product development side of you, is that some of the proceeds from the sales of these products go to Girls Inc. Am I saying that correctly?
We've done a lot of partnerships where we want to give back to, women or women's health organizations. I think you'll see us doing things, around breast cancer, and around other women's health issues or young women, and being able to support them as they're growing in their confidence levels. So yeah, we definitely have done a lot of that over the years. We don't always work with just one particular organization, but we're proud of what we've done.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I like that. So you're not just making a difference in our bodies, but you're then contributing back to other organizations that might be making a difference in other ways, whether it's mental health or, financial things or whatever. So I like that you've got this almost holistic approach to your business,
Yeah, I mean, I think an example of that is, first of all, we're a women-led company, and we have about 80% of our team is women. We've taken a women's first approach to fitness and what was a gap in the market. We love men too. We are not just for women, like at all, but we take women pretty seriously because we feel like they've been underserved. And I think an example of that that's really like when you talk about passion, I had IVF with both of my babies. Very challenging, to sort of go through that and not being able to move during that period of time during the egg retrieval, and us working with a top endocrinologist at NYU, she sits on our board too. But to develop programming around that was a very personal thing to a number of us that were like me, probably in perimenopause right now and confused as to like what it is that I'm supposed to do to deal with the symptoms during that transition. We developed an entire menopause programming with doctors, but it's really fun when we're able to take such a personal approach because we are women and we're going through it ourselves. So that's another aspect of who we are.
Yeah, I love that. And it sounds like you're constantly developing new products and researching at each different phase, because we go through so many phases as women.
Definitely. And I think that's a little bit of what Pvolve stands for, personal evolution, because we're always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
What we needed, from movement in our 20s is perhaps different from what we need from our movement in our 60s. But our movement in our 20s should not impact our inability to be able to move our bodies in our 60s. And so that is like, you're constantly on this evolution. Your body is going through something, and we want to super serve you through every stage of that evolution.
Wow. Love that.
Evolve. It's beautiful. Personal evolution. And it is an ongoing journey. And each of us deals with specific things. So tell us about your future and the future Pvolve. What's going to happen to you in the future and the company?
Yeah. So we're growing. We're growing pretty exponentially right now. And we're only in the very early stage of franchising. Again, we only have 14 locations open, and another 40 in development right now. So that's an incredibly important part of our future. Very important, just continuing to support our franchise owners, help them to get to profitability, and continue to like sort of show up in the right markets in real life. Like that's very important. It's always been a part of our vision, is to have owner operators, passionate women, passionate men, really in these units to amplify this method. But at the heart of it, and we get asked this all the time, Rachel and I, we believe that we can be a future yoga or Pilates, like that you do cycling and you do Pvolve, that we need to continue to broaden the reach of the fact that you need functional movement and resistance-based training, because it can help you to live better. It can help you to live younger, longer, that no matter what it is, that no matter what it is that you do, that this can help you to do that longer. And so we are very focused on the efficacy behind this method. So whether that's testimonials, whether that's additional clinical studies, which we're right now in process on, whether that's taking our current clinical studies to the next level, adding doctors to our board. We've got 4 doctors right now, but we're looking for a 5th to fill sort of a gap. So that's what we're really focused on. I think that the thing that I'm most grateful for is that we haven't done this the easy way, but we did it the right way. And that's how you attract somebody like a Jennifer Anderson wanting to come and join your company, is that you have a product that really works, that she hasn't been able to find anywhere else. And that's, I think, what's ahead for us.
Amazing. Okay, so how can people get in touch with you that want to know more about Pvolve?
Yeah, so pvolve.com has information, not just from a D2C perspective, but also any information on franchising would be found there. And you could also go to our IG channel at Pvolve, Pvolve. And, certainly if you're looking for me, _ Julie Cartwright, JulieCartwright.
Beautiful. Julie, I don't think I've met someone as sensitive as you are, sensitive to your environment and to the thoughts, the emotion of others, or such an incredible listener. You really are an empath, I guess I can't think of a better word at this point, and how you've put that gifting to good use, to make sure you're on the right path, but also that you're making the right decisions for the company and for those that are blessed by being a part of the company, whether it's as a client, as a franchisee, or as an employee. This sensitivity really is paying off. It's amazing. It's just amazing. I'm trying to take it on for just a few minutes and wonder what that would feel like, even just for a week, what that would feel like, and what I likely am missing because I'm all blah, 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 on and on and on.
Oh my gosh, that is the biggest compliment. I really appreciate it. I do. I feel incredibly grateful for what life has given me. And yeah, but I'm incredibly emotional. So I don't know, like it might not be that much fun for you to take it on, but just really, I think it's just so important to look around and know what makes you happy and hold on to it.
It's funny because society, and Tracy, you deal a lot with this with the coaching you do, society tries to teach us to shut down that sensitivity. You have embraced it. You have embraced it and seen it as a gift. So I'm thrilled to have you on the show. So thank you for taking the time today. And Tracy, I'm sorry, I took your time. I didn't mean to do that, but I just had to say that. What final thoughts do you have, Miss Tracy?
No, the truth of the matter is, it's like I'm sitting here thinking, and I feel like I learned so much about myself by listening to you, Julie. And I think that a lot of what you had to say today is going to resonate with our listeners. You said something earlier that struck me. You said that the relationship, the partnership with Jennifer Aniston was an authentic partnership. And when you said the words authentic partnership, it struck me as there's so much more. There are so many complexities and so much of a deeper layer, many deeper layers to authentic partnership, because I think that you embody authentic partnership, and that's what you've brought to every single job, from staying in the role that you were in and holding on to the passion that you had for that one role, even though you were climbing the ladder, and then grabbing the next gold ring, which was that partnership with Rachel Katzman. I think all of these opportunities show up and you recognize them because of that authentic partnership, because of you observing, listening. And I think that's what you bring to everything, to life. So we appreciate you. Thank you for being on the show. And thank you for being an authentic partnership to everyone and everything that you come across with in life.
Thank you guys so much. I mean, I think my face was turning red right there. It was on the camera. It really means a lot to me. So thank you. I don't know how to be any other way. So I just so appreciate it.
We appreciate you, and we appreciate our listeners who are listening in today to the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. Make sure to comment, like, and share Julie Cartwright's interview today. And of course, we'll see you next week on another episode.